Maraming bagong dating dito sa Canada na very confused on how taxes work, kung ano ibig sabihin nito, kung ano yung mga credits, what qualifies them, so and so. And in today's video, we're gonna talk about the tax credits in Canada, the common ones na pwede nyong ma-encounter and may apply during tax return. The first one is called the basic personal amount, or ito yung nakikita niyo sa T1 ninyo or during tax return. Pagka after ng tax return niyo ay binigyan kayo ng papel, yung T1 document is makikita niyo doon basic personal amount na 15,000. Ito ay federal taxes. So it means that in your first 15,000 na income is wala siyang tax. So it's tax-free. Pagka papasok kayo sa bagong employer din, bibigyan kayo ng TD1 form. And then usually ang nilalagay lang natin is yung basic personal amount, diba, na 15,000. So yun. At dito magbabase yung employer ninyo kung magkano yung i-withhold nila na tax dun sa sweldo nyo every paycheck. So that's why pagka dalawa yung trabaho nyo, tapos sa second job nyo ay of course bibigyan kayo ng TD1, kailangan yung i-check doon na second job nyo to, hindi kayo mag-claim ng basic personal amount because for each individual, isang beses lang yun, isang 15,000 lang. You cannot claim sa dalawa is 15 each, so magiging 30,000 na siya. And that results to less taxes na wini-withhold or nire-remit na employer ninyo sa CRA. So pagdating ng tax return ay mag-o-owing kayo. So that's the common cases na dalawa or tatlo yung trabaho at tapos at the end of the year mag-o-owing sila dahil dito sa mistake na to. Pangalawa ay ang Canada Workers Benefit na para sa mga low earners, low wage earners na mga individual dito sa Canada. And meron tong mga rates na nagdepende if you are single or if you are a family. And ang CWB or Canada Workers Benefit ay for individuals dito sa Canada na they're currently working and they are at least 19 years old. Sometimes may mga nababayaran ng around 1,400 for a single person, and ang mga families naman ay sometimes nakaka-receive ng around $2,000. At saka kapag approved ka for disability sa gobyerno sa CRA, meron ding additional to na benefit. The first two, yung basic personal amount at saka CWB, ay nag-a-apply sa mga newcomers or immigrants. So if you're here in Canada as a newcomer, qualified ka pa din as long as hindi ka tourist or you're not under in a tourist visa. Ang pangatlo ay ang common na GST or HST credit. So itong GST at HST credit ay para din to sa lahat as I mentioned. However, it's based on the income. Naalala ko na nung yung asawa ko ay siya pa lang dito, or nung I think first year ko dito is we received this GST credit na maliit lang every quarter. Pero since then, I think after a year or two na dumating ako dito, hindi na kami naka-receive ever since. So do not be surprised if hindi kayo ma-qualify dito dahil it depends on the income and then of course like other things surrounding your current situation, if you're family or individual. So these credits will depend on your specific situation. And for GST, qualified ka kaagad pagdating mo ng Canada. However, you have to let the CRA know na I'm here. Meron kang form na pwedeng ma-download sa CRA website na tinatawag na RC151. Fill upan mo tong form na to pag, for example, pagdating mo ng Canada, like halimbawa, dumating ka dito and then nagtatrabaho ka, you're a worker here. Fill upan mo tong form na to and then you submit it to the CRA. This is to let them know na you're here and kararating mo lang and this is your income from outside of Canada and then inside of Canada, so and so. And they will use this to calculate kung magkano yung ibibigay sa inyo na credit or yung amount na marireceive nyo quarterly. But if you didn't know this, tapos walang nakapagsabi sa inyo, okay lang din kasi by the time na magpa-file ka ng tax return is they will be alerted or they will be notified na you are a taxpayer here, na meron kang SIN, and yeah, all your information and income or whatever, nung pag-file mo ay they will be transmitted to them and they will use that kung magkano yung credit na ibibigay sa inyo. However, sometimes, I don't know, for some reason, yung mga ini-enter na number, kailangan pa rin nila na mag-submit ka ng form. And if this is the case na makareceive ka ng letter na may kailangan sila na they don't know kung magkano yung income mo outside of Canada during this year, this tax year, you just have to comply. You just have to send them the right document or the right form na na-fill upan nyo. It's easy and do not be scared kapag may na-receive kayo ng mga letter from the CRA. The next one is the Climate Action Incentive. Before, yan ang pangalan, pero ngayon, tinatawag na siya na Canada Carbon Rebate or CCR. This is like very similar sa GST. However, for carbon rebate, there are only areas in Canada na makakwalify ka. And then, meron ding areas in Canada na may additional ka ma-receive dito sa CCR na around 10 or 20%, I guess, if I'm not mistaken. But these figures, remember, they always change this. May mga possible changes dito sa rates and figures na to. So, if you hear me talking talking about rates or whatever here in this video, you have to check the CRA website for the accurate figures or accurate amounts. So, ang CCR din or Canada Carbon Rebate, pagka nag-submit kayo ng form na RC151, kumbaga isang bagsak na yun na they will calculate your GST or CCR if you are qualified sa CCR. So, you don't have to submit 2 forms or 2 RC151. So, isang document lang, malalaman na nila na if you are qualified for this and then kung magkano yung rate na ibibigay nila sa'yo. And then, parehas lang din na if you're a newcomer, you also qualified for this CCR. The next one is the very common and everyone seems to look forward for this na may mga anak, which is the Canada Child Benefit. Now, ang Canada Child Benefit is a little bit different dun sa dalawa na CCR at saka GST. Dahil dito, if you're a newcomer here and hindi ka landed immigrant, hindi ka magka-qualify agad. So, for example, international student ka and you brought your kids here when you came here, your family like that. Or if you're working here tapos dala mo yung mga anak mo or yung family mo, hindi ka magka-qualify agad if you are not an immigrant kung hindi ka landed PR. So, you have to wait na at least 18 months ka nang nakatira dito para mag-kick into, para mag-qualify ka. And for those na landed immigrants, you can send RC151 to let the CRA know na PR ka dito pagdating mo and ito yung mga figures, income mo from outside of Canada, so and so, para hindi lang GST or Canada Carbon Rebate yung ma-receive mo, makalculate din nila yung Canada Child Benefit mo. And these credits like yung GST, Canada Carbon Rebate, ito, in case hindi mo alam to and then you just knew nung time na nag-file ka ng first tax return mo, yung tax preparer or yung accountant told you this, don't worry kasi once na mag-gather nila yung information about you, income, etc., kahit na ngayon ka palang nag-apply or ngayon lang sila na-notify, babayaran ka pa din nung mga months na they didn't know. Kumbaga, since nung time na nag-qualify ka, counted yun kahit na hindi ka pa nakapag-submit or kahit na hindi mo sila na-notify through that form. So, sometimes people are scared na hindi ko alam to, lumipas na yung ilang buwan, tapos ngayon ko palang nalaman to. They're scared na na-miss nila yung payments ng few months. But don't worry kasi babayaran pa rin nila yung mga times na na-miss mo kasi hindi mo sila na-notify agad pagdating mo ng Canada. Number 6 is moving deduction or moving expenses. Nung bago kami dito sa Canada, of course, all this, hindi ko to alam ha. I had no idea. So, nalaman ko lang to nung I'm starting to file our own taxes, which is tax year of 2015. So, this is when I knew about this. And then, I was able to use or apply our moving expenses. Kasi by that time is, nag-move kami in a different city. Tapos, meron kaming na-incur na moving expenses. However, hindi mo to pwedeng ma-claim pagka yung reason ay hindi na maging student ka doon or mag-study ka or you're gonna be working there. So, halimbawa, sa situation namin is, nag-move kami kasi natanggap ako doon sa isang city na, sa city na yon as an employee, kaya we moved there. So, that qualifies. And your tax preparer will know about this. So, kahit na sabihin nyo na, oy, nag-move kami sa qualified ba kami, ganito, ganyan yung sitwasyon namin, they will know about that kung qualified kayo and if you were ever reimbursed for that move. So, halimbawa is yung na-incur ninyo na gastos pag nag-move kayo doon is, let's say, $500. Tapos, yung employer ninyo ay may program sila na i-reimburse kayo doon sa moving expenses na yon na up to $200. So, yung $200 na yun, hindi nyo siya pwedeng i-claim pagdating ng tax return. Yung difference lang. As long as yung mga na-incur ninyo na expenses is eligible siya according to the CRA. So, if you ever move due to work or, study, you have to let your tax preparer or your accountant know about this. The next one is the education or training credit. Kapag ka meron kayong CRA account, you will see this there na meron kayong ganito na credit and it will be used once nag-study ka or nag-take ka ng mga, mga trainings or mga courses. And aside from this training credit na makikita nyo dun sa account nyo, meron ding tuition fee credit. This is when you studied here in Canada. So, halimbawa is this year, nag-study ako ng certificate course and then may tuition ako na 5,000 na binayad dun sa college or sa university. So, during tax season, at the end of the year, yung school ay mag-i-issue din ng form na T2202. This is to let you know, like officially, kung ilang months, full-time or part-time ka ba, tsaka magkano yung tuition. Ito yung gagamitin. Ibibigay mo to sa nagpe-prepare or gumagawa ng tax ninyo dahil magagamit to and this is a huge help talaga. And also, you have to ask them about transfers kasi you can transfer this tuition. Like for example, may asawa ka or may parents ka nandito sa Canada, you can ask about transfers. Sabihin nyo, tell me about tuition transfer credit dito sa Canada, qualified ba ako? So, that's one of the things na you can do as well. Kahit na kayo yung nag-aaral, pwede nyo i-transfer yung tuition credits nyo. Merong mga eligibilities or may mga, whatever policy dito. Kaya, you have to ask your tax preparer or your accountant. Number 8 is the medical expenses credit. Ito yung when you incurred medical expenses. So, like for example, bumili ka ng gamot, tapos may receipt ka, you have to keep all those receipts. Lahat to, itong mga credits na to, like moving expenses, etong credit na to, yung medical expenses, you have to keep the receipts. Kasi kahit na alam mo yung figures talaga sa isip mo, tapos ibibigay mo yun sa tax preparer mo, pero randomly is na select ka ng CRA na hihingan ka ng resibo, totoo ba to na ganito yung ano mo, na blah blah blah, you have to show receipt. Otherwise, they will invalidate that claim, that credit claim, and then, I don't know, maybe you will be owing something, and then they will impose penalty or interest. So, in order to avoid that, you have to keep the receipts. These are like tax credits, no? I will just touch a little bit dun sa income tax. So, dito sa Canada, no, kahit na you are not making money out of like from an employer, yung parang cash job lang, yung cash yung nare-receive mo, you are obligated na i-declare tong mga amount na to, yung kita mo, yung income mo, to the CRA. So, at the end of the year, for example, meron kang employer, meron kang cash job, you are really obligated na you have to declare these amounts. Kahit na wala kang proof na ganito yung kinita mo kasi cash siya, tapos yung tao na nagbigay sa'yo nito is hindi nagbigay ng paper, receipt, or whatever, na it says, I paid this person, ganito, ganyan. Kahit na walang ganun, you can still declare this amount and add it to your income. And when it comes to tax brackets, this is the tax brackets in Canada. I will expand about income tax, like I will make another video about this, but one thing I can tell you is, if you are doing overtimes sa work ninyo, lagi kang nag-overtime, do not believe this haka-haka yung mga naririnig mo sa mga kakilala mo na pag nag-overtime ka is malaki yung tax na babayaran mo. Kasi kahit na nag-overtime ka, the same lang ang rate mo ng tax doon sa regular mo. Ang difference lang is yung sa overall na income mo in that year if pumasok ka sa next bracket. However, if pumasok ka sa next bracket, it doesn't mean na yung buong income mo na yun ay ganun na yung percentage na kukunin. You can Google TurboTax income calculator and you have to input your income there and it will spit out an estimated taxes na babayaran mo. And I would just like to stress out na do not believe right away dun sa mga haka-haka na ganyan. Do your own diligence, do your own research, or ask someone who knows about taxes. Kasi kahit na hindi mga Pilipino, kahit yung mga puti, naririnig ko itong mga ganito na mga misconception dito sa Canada. And apart from the income tax, meron tayong tinatawag na sales tax dito sa Canada. Every province has different sales tax rates. And dalawa to usually. May federal, which is the GST, and meron ding provincial, which is PST, or in Quebec, it's called QST. However, some other parts in Canada, usually dun sa east banda, ay HST sa kanila, or harmonized sales tax. And these are the rates in every province dito sa Canada. So, para maintindihan nyo talaga to, you can get a receipt na, for example, sa Walmart na galing na receipt. And look down there, meron niyang GST, PST, or HST. So, yung sales tax ay iba sa income tax at iba dun sa mga credits na sinabi ko kanina. Itong sales tax ay kasama to sa mga binibili natin or mga ginagamit natin na services dito sa Canada. Meron mga services or products na zero rated, so wala siyang sales tax. Pero, most usually, mga basic ano natin, meron siyang tax. And yung tax na to ay hindi mo nakikita usually sa mga tags. If you want to really know kung magkano talaga yung babayaran mo pagdating ng checkout, you have to calculate the taxes on top of that. So, you add the tax rate. So, for Saskatchewan, if I see that jacket, I will add 11% to that. And that's when I know na ganito yung babayaran ko sa checkout. So, that's all for today's video, guys. And if you have questions, you can comment down below or you can send me an email if you don't want people to read your, kasi minsan meron tayong specific situations na we don't want everyone to see. You can find my email anywhere, like in the description and also dun sa channel information ko. And if you find this video helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and you can also watch this video here na related sa video na to. And I'll see you guys again on my next one.